What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Millionaire Locator channel, giving you all the gems on apartment locating, working with renters, being successful as a realtor without selling homes. Today, we're going to get down to the nitty-gritty, the truth behind how exactly do locators get paid. Now, I will be upfront in telling you this. Locating, the way you get paid is definitely a little more lengthy compared to regular sales and regular rentals. Now, the reason I say that is because a lot of these apartments are with big corporations, and that's who the check comes from, not the actual apartment complex. Unless it's a smaller apartment, and it's only like a family and owned, management company, then they may cut you a check a lot faster. But most of the time it's coming from these larger corporations. So they have to go through the leasing office. The leasing office has to okay with everything. Your client has to be moved in for a certain amount of time frame. Then they send the invoice to the corporation. That corporation sends your check to the brokerage, then you get paid. So this is why I always tell people, if you're going to want to work with rentals, if that's what you do want to focus on is locating and rentals, get with a brokerage that focuses on these type of payments, these type of systems, because if you don't have a system in place, it will take you a lot longer to get paid out if you're not building relationships with these corporations, these managers at apartment complexes to make sure things are getting put in a timely manner. It can take up to 120 to 90 days just for you to get paid. Now, for most complexes, it is 30 to 90 days. 90 days is usually the max. Again, that's not for most of them. Most of them are 30 to 60, but 30 to 90 days is usually the length of time that I see most of my checks come in. Now, imagine if you're not with the brokerage that helps you get your checks, that calls these apartments, that call these corporations, that invoices them for you, get your check and pay you out direct deposit. You're the one doing all this calling. You're the one doing all the invoicing, verifying that your client is moved in, all the information is correct. You're having to do all this work just to chase one check. And guess what? You still have to work with other clients. You still have to talk to clients on a daily basis. You're still sending out lists to other people. So if you're having to chase your checks and you're having to work with people on a daily basis, it's going to get exhausting. You're going to get in a bottleneck, and you're not going to be able to even do your business exactly how you're supposed to because you're doing too many operations at once. Again, it's not really a business if you have to do everything. If you can put aside one task, and that's invoicing, that's getting your checks for you, it frees up so much time to work with a lot of other clients that you can close more deals. And guess what? Send them off to the VA, send them off to your brokers. That way they can get those checks for you, and you can keep bringing them in. You want to try to free up as much of your time to do what's really important, and that's lead generation, closing deals, talking to new clients, getting new leads. That is the 80% of your income comes from just doing that. If you just able to focus more on what's productive for you, your output is going to be a lot better versus you having to do a lot of different tasks. So that is one thing, truth, I want to tell you all about locating. Does take a little longer to get paid, can be a little stressful if you're not with the brokers that focuses on that. Now, if you are with the brokerage, that does focus on locating, then things will be a lot easier. Only things that you really have to worry about when you are working with apartments, when you are sending out your clients, is one, guest cards. What exactly are guest cards? Now, guest cards are one of the most important things that come with locating. They make sure that you get paid. A guest card is email that you send into a complex, letting them know that this particular client is your client and you're sending them to this property to tour. If you're not going in person with them, actually send the guest card regardless. I always tell all my agents this. I send the guest card as soon as the client mentions they're interested in that property, because you never know, they may go tour without you, and say if they don't put your name on the application, the guest card can be used for backup. So what is on the guest card? It's your name, who you are, what brokers you work with, It's your client's name, their number, what they're looking for, and their time frame. And you're emailing this exactly to the complex. Now you can call the complex, or if you're using a database that has all the emails, such as Agent Access or something like that, you can just send the guest card that way and it automatically sends to the complex because they already have the email saved in there. So guest cards is step one. Now, after that, your client tour, the client lets you know that they like the property, they're going to apply. They have to list their name on the application. Now, there's going to be a part on the application that asks, how did you hear about us, or reference. Those are usually the two terminology that they use for this part. You're going to make sure that they select Locator on here. This is because you want the application to be tied to you. So when it goes to the managers, they'll see, okay, this person was referred to by Locator. If they're able to put your name, they can put your name down, but sometimes it just asks, how did you hear about us? And that's where that guest card comes in handy because you already emailed them and they can tie the two together. So guest cards, name on application. Now, when that happens, if you're not working with the company that focus on this, you have to call the complex, verify your client's info, their name, unit number, rent amount, and what's the commission rate. And then you're going to send in an invoice with all the correct information that I just mentioned, your client's unit number, their rent amount, first, last name, and then the commission rate. You're going to put all that on an invoice, send that out to the manager. Then they're going to verify everything and then send along with your W-9 so they can know who they're supposed to pay. Then they're going to send that to corporate. The corporate's going to send you a check. Now, that's a lot of work. I started out doing it. It takes a lot of time and it's stressful because you were spending days just chasing checks, and then you're leaving leads on the table because you're exhausted chasing money that people already owe you. So if you're working with a brokerage or a team that focuses on locating, great. All you have to do is submit that information to the company. They'll invoice everything for you, make sure everything's verified, and get you paid out. So this is the reality of how we get paid as locators. Again, emphasis on this video, guest cards, name on application. Guest cards are so damn important because there'll be times people can forget your name, forget to put your name on the application. Guest cards in handy. So if you don't take anything else from this video, take away guest cards and the importance of sending those out to the complexes. So hope this video helps you out. Stay tuned for the next video. See you soon.